and welcome to my annual gaslighting to say Barnsley going up. Here we go. Right, the transfer window has finished. We are going to look through the Barnsley squad, the players that have been brought in, the players that have left, the players that just exist and that are here, and our chances in comparison to the other teams in this league. Because there is a war going on Barnsley Twitter for some reason. Where most of the time it is just grown men versus children, and that is the general split that happens down middle. Because some people think that we're lacking a striker, which ultimately you cannot argue we are. We obviously would have liked another striker into her, which is why we were after earlier in the window. Tavid at Colchester, Ballard at Southampton has gone to Leyton Orient, and we had McAtee into her at Barnsley. So we obviously wanted a striker, but we've never once gone for one that would start for us, right? And I don't think it is as big as of a deal as people seem to make it out to be. So obviously we will go through it, the players that we've brought in, and whatnot. Let me just get this stuff back up. Oop, I've just deleted one. Hold on, guys. Let me just get all my stuff up a minute. Just gotta be really unprofessional for a minute. Transfer complete. Hold on, guys. Just gotta bring Murphy Cooper on. Everybody give me a second, please. Everybody calm down, okay? Loan from Queens. Really poor from me. From Queens to Barnsley. Submit. Right, let me get that shit back up. Right, well everybody forget that just happened. And we will respectfully move on. However, we have first, before I do move on, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Vlogs, to Mr. West Bromwich Albion Vlogs for 20 quid. Mate, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. What do you think about our transfer window? I think it's been solid. Do you know anything about Samuel Jr.? From what I've heard, he's a good player from Villa. He was on loan at Middlesbrough last season. He's obviously very good. I think West Brom's transfer window is good. I did a video on it, mate. But he's a good player. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for 20 quid. You do not need to do that. Like, I appreciate anybody that does. You specifically. And I thank you to the end of time. But you do not need to donate. Okay? I will read all the comments anyway. I appreciate you very much, my friend. Love you very much. Kiss. Thank you, Mr. Vlogs. Thank you, Mr. West Bromwich Albion Vlogs, for the 20 quid. I appreciate it. And West Brom's transfer window has been very good, by the way. Genuinely very good. Do I think you'll get top 6? That's a different question. Probably marginally. But anyway, moving on. Thank you, Mr. Vlogs. Barnsley. This is what this is. There's a severe lack of Barnsley-related focused content. And I am one. I am a Barnsley man for a start and a content man. So I've got to go hand in hand, and I want to make Barnsley things. So this is what I'm doing. Right. First up, obviously some of these are from earlier on in window, but still, they did happen. Do you know what I mean? Murphy Cooper from QPR to Barnsley. I think, being genuinely serious, QPR have loaned us their best keeper. This is a championship standard keeper if I've ever seen one. And if we are going through and being completely realistic, which is what this is about for a start, like obviously I like to be the most deluded man alive in terms of Barnsley. But if we are being realistic and fair in terms of comparing Murphy Cooper to other goalkeepers in this league, is this guy a top 6 standard goalkeeper, the starting goalkeeper for Barnsley? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. He is a fantastic goalie. He's obviously made 19 saves in 8 appearances in total, which really ain't even that many. Like, you do maths, guys. That's like 2.5 a game. You know what I'm saying right now? If you do the maths on that shit, and that's an all right amount of saves. 1 clean sheet in 8 is slightly worrying. Which were away at Peterborough, I believe, and we should have had some in other games. Like we should have had one against Huddersfield, and it was just a bit annoying more than anything that we gave it away. But is he one of the best keepers in the league? Absolutely. He absolutely is. Kevin Nagel, here he is. Brother, thank you for the 5. I will not forgive you for Saturday. I am jetting over. See you soon. Yeah, sure thing, bud. Sure thing, bud. Again, there's like at least 7 zeros missing out under that if that were my mate. But I appreciate you nonetheless. Thank you for the 5. I'll tell you what, I'm not looking forward to going to Huddersfield Place. Because I've been there a few times and lost every time. It's not quite on Derby's level for me, personally. But my God. I hate going to that place. I think I've been 3 times and lost every time. Not fun. Not a fun experience going to Huddersfield. It's a good day out though, must be said. But thank you, Mr. Nagel. Kiss. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the 5. Love you very much. Right. Moving on. Marcus Forss for Golden Boot. Oh, you funky man. Right. Another one. Nathaniel Ogbeta on loan from Plymouth. Very strange this one, but some players do just find their homes at different clubs, don't they? It's got to be said. The amount of lads that we've let go in different times that have gone on to do good things with other clubs that just weren't deemed good enough for us. Like, look at Styles, for example. Like, we didn't like him here. We knew what he could be, but his attitude and other things, we just didn't like him. You're now looking at, like, one of West Brom's best players. They love him. They absolutely love the guy. So, certain players are better suited to different systems and clubs, just generally. And I think Ogbeta for us suits exactly what Urian wants for a start, for a left back. Well, he's not a left back, is he? He's effectively a left winger. But the fitness levels of this guy are incredible. He's up and down all the time. More often than not, he's his furthest player up pitch, and he offers us the width, which means that someone like Dunn or Didsey, traditionally not strikers, can pick up sort of pockets in and around any area they want and see fit. The thing that I would say, and I've got like a little spreadsheet that I'm going to show at end once I've gone through players. I've got a little spreadsheet that I'm going to show. The thing that I would say in terms of players and positions that we're light on, left back is clearly one. Clearly. We are lighter and in a much worse position if Ogbeta gets injured instead of Didsey getting injured. If Ogbeta gets injured right now, with Gent still injured, we have to change everything. The entire play style has to change if Ogbeta gets injured right now. And people just don't want to speak about that. Hold on. We've got a fella. Joseph, thank you for the 2, buddy. What we do in Jan when we recall him Kiss? There's no way you recall Cooper in Jan. It just won't make sense. Unless you... No, there's just no world. Unless you get injuries to your starting keeper now, there's just no reason at all for you to recall him. Because if you're doing crap for a start, unless you're in a relegation battle, that's the only serious reason that it makes sense to you and you're conceding loads of goals. But if you're mid-table, for example, you're not going to go up and you're not going to go down, it don't make sense for you to recall someone that next season would start for you anyway and he's going to have a promotion under his belt, hopefully. If we're doing crap, fair enough, then you recall him. But if we're doing really good and he wants to stay, it would not make any sense for QPR to recall Cooper. It really won't make sense. So, please no. Just let's grow up and keep him where he's happy in Barnsley. All right, you don't need him. You've got enough keepers. But thank you, Joseph, for the 2, friend. But yeah, Ogbeta, really good player as well. Another addition. There's not many additions. Well, there's no additions that I would say I'm not happy with. And obviously, we'll come and look at the outgoings at end. But Cooper and Ogbeta, 2 brilliant signings. Jake Rooney that we've got from Derby. Now, we've been crying out for a defender all window. The entire window we have been screaming for a centre-back, right? Because we've got Roberts injured to start with, and then his immediate backups is Shepherd and Earl, 2 left-footers, is Connor Barrett, who's a child, or De Giovinazzi, who respectfully is just not good enough. I think we can all just agree on that one. I love the fella. I'm sure he's a great bloke, but in terms of being good enough for this football club, it's just jury's out in it. It's not good enough. But this Rooney fella, he comes in on a lot of hype. For a start, there's a lot of good things being said about him. Like Derby fans, a lot of them are questioning why he's not got more game time for him. I think he were starting to put a string of games together and then he got injured, so we were quite unlucky in that regard. But yeah, I'm happy with this. I don't think he will start straight away, personally. Best manager we've had since Alan Clark. Well, I went around for that, mate, so I can't comment on that. I know what he's done for us, but I can't comment. But yeah, the centre-halves were awful when we played York. Yeah, they were. And centre-back is definitely the position that we've been screaming for all window. Before the window even started, we were desperate for centre-backs. Going forward wasn't even a problem for us last season anyway. We scored a lot of goals. I think we maybe scored 7th amount of goals in worst season in 20, 30 years for us. So, obviously, the goal-scoring thing didn't even really need addressing. We needed to address the formation and bringing in wingers that we didn't have. But defensively is where the problems have consistently lied. And last season was the worst ever in terms of goals conceded for us at this level. It was the worst season we've ever had for goals conceded. So we need a centre-back, definitely. We just need defenders in general. And say if Rooney comes in and starts instead of Earl, let's just say that, for example, then the full back 5 from last season is changed. The full thing. Cooper's in, who weren't here last season. Ogbeta's new from last season. Tenai Watson's new. Rooney will be new. And Shepherd was our player, but he were on loan in League 2 anyway, so he would be new as well. So it'd be a full new back 5, which is what we needed. But I think it'd be a case of him needing to impress Urian or an injury to Shepherd or Earl for him to get a start. It is definitely not going to be the case where Rooney immediately comes in and starts for us. Even if he's best centre-back that we've got, he ain't going to come in and start for us straight away. There's just no chance. Personally, I don't think. But yeah, obviously there's a lot to be said on him, but we don't have anything to say right now because none of us have seen him. We're just going on Derby's word, realistically. But I think he could be good, just based on what's been said. Got to be said. CF, thank you for the 50 grand, my friend. No chance of a better squad than Cardiff. We have 2 good players in every position on pitch. If we're competing in Jan, time we'll spend. I think we're better than going forward, undoubtedly. Like I do not say this in spite of other teams. If I take a step back seriously and just look at this from a unbiased point of view, Barnsley have got the best forward line in this division. I would say easily. Seriously, I think midfield is another strong point for us, but there are other teams that are very strong, yourselves included, like Cardiff, Bolton, Huddersfield, Luton. Very good teams at Middle at Park. But going forward, I think we are comfortably the best side. Comfortably. As a full squad, are Cardiff better than us? Probably marginally. Marginally, yeah. I think Bolton marginally are better than us. And I think Huddersfield and Luton are better than us. But in terms of going forward, we are the best team in this league. And I'll tell you what, we can all sit here at end of season, can't we? And judge it. Who scored the most goals? You know what I'm saying? If in doubt, how else could you define someone like that? Who is the best going forward? We will look at the end of the season at the goals for table. You can quote me now, the 5th of September 2025, 11 minutes past 6. We will have scored the most goals in 9 months' time, 10 months' time. We will have scored the most goals. Personally. Take DKD out your squad and take DKD out on your squad's mid-table. You could say that about any team ever. Like what? If we take out Alfie May from Huddersfield's side, they've got minimal goal threat, so they're crap. Do you know what I mean? You could say that about apart from Luton. Luton are free. You couldn't say that about Luton. But the rest of them, take your best team out. Take your best player out of your team, and this is what you are. What? What kind of logic is that? If you could have said that at end of August, and it sort of made sense because he could have gone. But why would we take him out? He's here. Do you know what I mean? Why would we take him out? Anyway, thank you, CEF. I appreciate it. I wouldn't say there's no chance we've got a better squad, but I do think you are marginally better in terms of the squad that you have got. Joe Taylor, question mark. Well, he's the same player, so then what? All right, we can play this game because this is what a lot of people are saying about Barnsley's front line. If you get an injury to Dunn and Idze, then who have you got up front? So if we could take out Joe Taylor and Alfie May, you've got Dion Charles up front. I'm better than Dion Charles this day and age. Do you know what I mean? We can all play ifs and buts. Let's just deal with what's smack in front of us, which is that Dunn is starting up front for Barnsley. End of. Okay? End of. But Jake Rooney, I don't think we'll start straight away, but it's a really good option to have in a position that we're screaming for. Moving on. Jack Shepherd is obviously our player that was on loan last season at Bradford, got promoted. Were, by and large, best defender in the league. I quite like him personally. Played 7 games so far. Played the majority. I think he's played every minute of every game apart from the one that he got sent off. I believe, if I've remembered that properly. Luke, it's on TikTok because some games were postponed, so there were no point doing it. Because some bigger lads weren't playing, you know what I'm saying? So I've done it on TikTok. But Jack Shepherd, I really like. I think if either of the 2 centre-backs are going to drop out for Jake Rooney, I do think it will be Earl, personally. But I don't think Urian will swap me until either an injury or an absolute massive clanger or somebody just plays absolutely dog shit for like a couple of games out of Shepherd and Earl. I don't think either of them get dropped until that happens, personally. But Shepherd, again, good centre-back. Obviously, Tanai Watson, not the flashiest guy ever. Not a flashy number, not a flashy name, not come from a flashy club. There is nothing about this guy that screams, wow, that's exciting. It's a right back on a free transfer from Charlton. Do you know what I mean? He's not the most exciting player or position to ever exist. But my God, he is a baller. He is so solid in the bits that he has played so far, 393 minutes. I don't think I've seen him misplace a pass, be caught out of position once. He is so fluid, defensively very solid, and I think it's just like caveman discovers fire to see a right back that can actually defend after watching Corey O'Keefe. My goodness me. We have actually got a right back that can defend and transition into a back three. It's perfect for what Urian wants and the fluidity that we've got. I really like him, and on a free transfer, astute business. This guy, Patrick Kelly, doesn't even start for us at minute. I seriously don't think it will be long, maybe, because he does look a serious player. 4-year deal, 20 years old, come from a serious academy. for about 50 grand. No goals or assists, but he's not that type of midfielder. Just runs around. He's very... I'll tell you what, Josh Scowen. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you seeing what I'm saying here? This is Josh Scowen, a younger, better-looking version of him. 20 years old, long contract. Outstanding business again. Same as Race Cleary, probably about 50 grand. They're both roughly the same. It was compensation for Cleary and a very small fee for Kelly. But Race Cleary, again, definitely a bench option for now. But I think the long-term vision is probably rock with McGoldrick until his legs fall off. And then Cleary is sort of there. I think, not like Scout. What a ball-winning midfielder. Just small, nippy, does dirty work. I think that's exactly like Scowen. If I were to say that Kelly is like anybody, I think the perfect mould is Scowen. I don't know what you're seeing there to disagree with that, but I think that's exactly what Kelly is. Just a ball-winning, nippy, horrible, sharp midfielder that likes to get stuck in and does dirty work for players around him that are better, i.e. Connell Phillips, personally, is my view on him. Also, this guy's a nutcase. Caelan Vickers on loan from Brighton. Again, I know we've not been doing it for the last couple of positions because I don't think it's true. So I'm not just going to say, oh, we've got best midfielder in the league in Kelly when he's just not at minute. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of wingers, seriously, speaking about Tanner Watson as well and the same sort of attributes, I don't think I've seen Caelan Vickers lose ball once. His ball retention is incredible. You can tell he's come from a Premier League side, definitely. I am so surprised, and I now understand what Brighton fans were saying about him when he first got loaned out to us. Why he's not in Championship, I truly do not know. Because again, I would say one at best in his position in league, definitely. In terms of the bits that I've seen so far. You know what I mean? I've really, the starting 11 that we've got is frightening how good it is. I do think we are light in certain areas that will come on at end. But for actual starters, which Caelan Vickers is, there is not many better wingers in this division. I don't think, and that's just my personal, humble, honest opinion. Greg, thank you for the 5, mate. I do appreciate it a lot. Eyup, Cal, which of these should I watch? Imps vs Wigan, Donny, Bantams, Salford vs Tranmere, Huddersfield, Peterborough, Bolton, Wimbledon. And then Sam says Bolton, Wimbledon. I'm respectfully disagreeing with that. I would go Donny and Bradford there. I think it'll be quite a low-scoring game, but it is a Yorkshire derby, even though they're about an hour and a half away from each other, they're miles away. But that'll be a decent game, that. Two decent sides that have started well. That'll both be up for it. Bit of spice involved. Then you can look at players like Humphreys and Molyneux. I'd watch that, Greg, personally. Or I'd just go outside, probably this weekend. But thank you, Greg. I appreciate it a lot. Kiss. Love you very much, my friend. Oliver would have gone for champions if we managed to get a striker in like yourself. So pessimistic last few games have changed my mind. Unsung hero will be Bland. Player of season will be Connell. I mean, Bland's outrageously good. Again, 19 years old until this time next month, I think, is his birthday. How good that fella is. It looks like he's played 500 games. He's so good. As depth in middle's outstanding. Like, it's really good in middle of park. And I think Connor looks really good as well. I do think, I think it's quality in depth, not so much depth itself, in terms of if for some absolute unknown reason, Didzy and Dunn both aren't available at the same time, and then you've got Cleary stood up front, for example, who naturally is a striker anyway. Like, you know, it come through as a striker at West Brom. He only wasn't a striker when he went to Hartlepool. That's the only time that he's not been there. But if Cleary stood up front, it's not McAtee. Do you know what I mean? But McAtee wouldn't have come in and started. And if it's an obligation to buy, which is what everybody is saying, is the reason that Bolton haven't let us have him, they would have let us have a loan if we paid money at the end. If we get promoted, McAtee isn't good enough for Championship, so it'd be a waste of money. So for the business that we've actually done, as much stick as we'd like to give Nirav as owner, who is just a tight bastard, and Mladen, who just seems like a dope in general, I think most of us incomings are because of Urian, we have spent no money and look miles better than we did this time last year. Miles and miles better by spending naught. So I'm happy, personally, with the business that we've done. Are you sure Barnsley is so convincing? Best attacking side in terms of quality and depth? I think Cardiff have to be up there. Take your logic about the two best strikers injured. We still have Isaac Davis. I think Cardiff. I think it's the unknown in terms of their away side of things for Cardiff. At home, I think you'll probably have one at best home forms in division. You've obviously put a lot of teams to sword already at home. You're going to score a lot of goals at your place. But the away side of things, mainly as an unknown into this league and not seeing more consistently what you can do going against little shitbags that are just going to sit 10 men behind the ball all game. Like, at their place, I think away from home, you might struggle a little bit to score the amount of goals. Whereas I've seen for a number of years what Barnsley and Bolton are really good away from home, and that's even with him being crap. I think if Barnsley and Bolton had been AFD sent at home last season, they'd have gone in. But we're just so crap. Whereas away, we've been so good for so long and scored so many goals for so long. I think we will score more goals than Cardiff, definitely. I really do. I don't think there's anything that can change my mind looking at squad levels of everybody that'd make me think different. I just think personnel-wise and the fluidity of how good we look going forward and mainly the variety of goals. We're playing off, a lot of time, Barnsley's goals come from playing off second balls for a start because we're good in air, especially down right-hand side, we're good in air because Phillips wins a lot of headers for Vickers. So we score a lot of picking up second balls and flick-ons and keeper spills and defensive mistakes. And you can say, like, oh, that's not sustainable. But we're in League One. Do you know what I mean? We're not playing in Championship where you get punished for that type of stuff. And if we go up, maybe we will get punished and come back down. But in this division, the defenders are crap. Keepers are crap. Statistically, and everybody's opinion before game on Saturday, Owen Goodman is one of the best goalies in this league. Which he probably still is. My opinion hasn't changed there. We're going up against one of the best defensive side in leagues in Huddersfield that are conceded in one game prior to us. And with all three of his goals have been on back of Huddersfield mistakes and us making intelligent decisions at right times to shoot from edge at box with 3 men running in. That is as tactically switched on as making 1,000 passes before a goal. If you can get 6 men into box for a rebound that you know somebody's going to spill with a certain type of shot, that is good football. That's knowing your opposition and the level that you're playing at. And we're doing it really good. So maybe we've not had 75 XG so far. I think we've made most big chances in division so far. And that's without us even being like absolutely outstanding and knowing what we can do. We played Wimbledon away, a very hard side. Plymouth away first game with 10 men. We played Huddersfield and Bolton at home. We've not had an easy start and we've scored millions of goals. So I think once we get into a rhythm of maybe we actually start playing some nice stuff more consistently, because we have done it in spells, then there's nothing in my mind that thinks that we won't be top goal scorers in this league. Absolutely nothing. I can't see what anybody else is seeing there. Imagine it seems if Barnsley spent some coin. Yeah, it would be nice, mate. CF, another 50 grand, mate. Thank you very much. Disagree. Salic, Robinson, Willock, Ashford, Colwell. There's a couple more youngsters. We don't at 100% yet. We'll twat someone 6-7-0 soon. I'll never sip first. See, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. That is a very good crop of players there. Right? Salic, Robinson, Willock, Ashford, Colwell. Yeah, genuinely really, really good. But I'm just thinking, realistically, what I'm seeing from this Barnsley team, I have seen 2 full nights of Cardiff and you look good. But personnel-wise, I think Adam Phillips, Caelan Vickers, Davies Keeler-Dunn, McGoldrick is better than what you have said there. Personally. Just want to put that out there. And I think we would be more likely to go to somewhere like, I know you can use the Wimbledon argument against me, so just give me a second. I think we will go to someone like Port Vale, who I think you were very lucky against, and I think we will win games like that. Just scrappy, horrible games, I think suit us, personally. You've seen the worst 90s of Cardiff so far. Well, that's fair enough. That's all I've got to go off, though, innit? You know what I mean? And watching highlights and seeing stats, you have battered a lot of teams, but I think you've had a much easier start than someone like us as well. When I named the teams that we've gone up against, Wimbledon away, I know you went there and won, but that ain't an easy fixture for anybody. Plymouth, Huddersfield and Bolton in your first 6 games with Wimbledon away is not an easy start at all. I think we've had one of the hardest ones and we've done really good to come out at the end of it. Is my personal opinion. But thank you, CEF. I appreciate the £50,000 again. Yes. Well, no, obviously Salic is a better player than McGoldrick, but as a collective, I think Barnsley's attackers are better than Cardiff's are. Me. But thank you, CEF. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Moving on anyway from Vickers. Obviously, let's speak about the man who's got 2 goals so far in 6 appearances. I don't think he's been that good, personally, in terms of I think it's more knowing what he is and what he can do. So I'm expecting like him to be best player ever every game, and obviously he's not going to be that. But he makes one thing that people said to me as well, like Sheffield United fans and Notts County fans, everybody that's ever seen him properly said everybody around him will look a lot better just because of him. And I could not agree more. This is the best that Phillips and Connell have looked since coming here. And in obviously first season we got to play a final and lost. We look so much better now than we did then. So much better. And I've even had confirmation of that off of some players that I've spoke to. Even they're like, mate, this is serious. This is like a different standard to what we've been with before here. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. And I just think, like, right, I would say Connell and Phillips have been outstanding so far, right? McGoldrick and Dunn, I don't think have been that cracking, realistically, in terms of what they can be. And between them, they've got 6 goals in 6 games. And that's without them even doing anything of note yet. It's been Phillips and Connell that have been best players so far. And Vickers, really. But knowing what these can be once they actually hit ground running a little bit and get into a rhythm is frightening, I think, for everybody that's going up against us. Is my opinion. Still think Barnsley are best midfield in the league. I think Huddersfield, Cardiff and Luton have an argument now. I think Luton's is probably the best. Because from a defensive side of things as well, we obviously are looking better this season. But defensively, I think we can look slightly iffy, which does span from middle sometimes. Whereas Luton, I just think, are solid everywhere. Is what I would say. Personally. But moving on. Obviously, they're the incoming so far. So we have spent nothing or probably 100 grand in terms of Kelly and Cleary fee. That's it. We spent next to nothing. We were obviously wanting a striker before it finished. And McAtee, I don't know how true this were, but apparently people are saying they do Rink Club. I had no one there that could tell me. So my sources are not available at current time. But in terms of this player, like I said, if we would have put an obligation in, I would have actually been a bit fuming. I would. I like McAtee for what he were at Barnsley. And I think Bolton have misprofiled him while he's been there. He's never been a 10. He's a striker every day of the week. And I think if he'd have come here, it wouldn't have started. It definitely wouldn't have started. But it'd have been a good bench option. Which maybe is something that we've missed. Or will miss. If we do get fucking 15 injuries at once. For God's sake, like everybody seems to think. God forbid, I'll tell you what, if Cooper gets an injury, we might as well just fault club. We have people talk about if we get these injuries and this guy gets sent off and a million different dominoes all fall at once, then we are finished. As if that ain't the exact same case for every other team in the world. But I would have liked him on a loan. I would have definitely liked him as a loan, as a sub option to come on at like 70th. But for an obligation to buy, which Bolton wanted to put in, no. Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm not having it. And then you look at the general crap that we have got rid of so far. This window's been an absolute blinder. But how people... McAtee literally said on an interview he prefers playing at 10. Callum Styles previously said that he prefers playing at middle at Park. But I'm better than him in midfield. And he's a left back. So, who cares? I don't care what the player has said. Humphries has said that he's a striker. No, he's not. He's a winger. People can say whatever they want. We've all got eyes. And I can clearly see that McAtee is not a number 10. He's a striker. Every day at week. Anyway, the players that we've let go, the only one that I miss is Humphries. The rest of them, all absolute shit. All shit. None of these, I am not going to miss one of these fellas. All loan players are coming to end of the contract, I believe, once it's done anyway. And we'll have got either loan fees or paid 100% of the wages anyway for the lads that have gone, plus the free transfers. I know our owner come out and said that we need to sell players effectively to make up for the loss of the £8 million fee effectively. That we're not going to have from being in Championship. I don't know how they can sit there and moan about not being in Championship when they don't spend any money, but I don't know, just our owners and Fruit Loop in it. But in terms of the players that we've let go, some of these are our highest earners. Humphries, Pines, Cosgrove, Benson were 4 biggest earners in club. I reckon from the, 13 players that we've let go, it's probably about 30 grand a week saved in terms of wages and bonuses. There's a lot of wages saved there. That's what, top of my head, 1.7 million quid or something for a year. Something like that. Saved without even selling anybody for a fee. That's just on wages saved. The lads that we've brought in are kids. Or McGoldrick, who's not going to be on a lot of money anyway. He's just playing football for his mates because he likes it. Do you know what I mean? None of the lads that we brought in are going to be on a big wage. Even Premier League lads. Vickers is on like small money. So the players that we have brought in comparison to getting rid of, we are 5 times as good now, personnel-wise, compared to what we were. And if we get to January, because we are sat on money, by the way, I know we are sat on money because I know we've put big fees in for certain players that never come about. I know it for a fact that we have put good fees in for players or big offers. So we are sat on money. And if Urian has said, like in interviews before, that he would rather have nobody than have wrong player, then I am very happy to wait for January with the squad that we have got, because we are in such a better position now than we were previously. Just quickly, Zach, love you, my friend. Kiss. Hope you're alright. Hi, Cal, you're going nowhere. Happy weekend, Z. There will be a league sandwich between me and you, my friend, this time next year, because you're going down and we're winning league. But thank you, Zach. I appreciate it a lot. Joseph, thank you for the 5 again, my friend. I hate that I'm starting to believe you'll actually do it. Go on then. What grounds are you ticking off next season, Cal? Can I get you a pint at the loft? Well, I've not come to your place, so I would love it, mate. I would love to come and have a pint with you. Thing is, you know, in previous seasons, you're saying there that I'm starting to make you believe. I am biased to Barnsley. I am. I will sit here and say publicly that I am about certain things. Like every season, I will say that I think we'll get promoted, even if I don't truly believe it. Because if you don't believe in your own club, then what is the point? Do you know what I mean? If you don't believe that you'll go up every year or do something every year that's like deemed successful for your club, and the only way to be successful for Barnsley in League One is to go up. If we're in Championship, success is staying up or being top half. Do you know what I mean? That would be success to Barnsley. But for this league, success is getting promoted, and I'm going to believe that my club can be successful every year. So I'm blatantly saying that I am biased in that regard. But when I take a step back, which I think I can do genuinely, like I'm doing now, I think, completely unbiased, that we have got the best forward line in division. Completely unbiased, I think that we will score most goals. Unbiased, I think we've got one of the best midfields in the league. And again, unbiased, I think defensively, if we aren't to go up, that will be the reason why. So, if I am being completely honest, I believe that we will definitely finish top 6, like without doubt. But I truly believe, to my core, that we are one of the best 2 teams in this league. I really, really do. I really do. I can't, honestly, you're all going to make your own opinions on it, and we'll all sit here in May and have someone will be laughing at somebody else. And more than likely, it's going to be all laughing at me. But I think that Luton are the only side better than us. I do. In terms of what I've seen, the stats that teams have had, the personnel that teams have got, how I think certain things will play out, and also you need a little bit of luck, and I think we're due a bucket load of that shit. I think we are the second best team in this division. I really do. So that's all I've got to say on that regard. But thank you for the 5, my friend Joseph, I believe. Right. How many more of these things have I got? We'll talk about this before we look at the actual squad level as a whole on my little spreadsheet. Luca Connell, the main reason as well, obviously, like I've said, Connell and Phillips, this is the best that they have looked by a landslide since to come here. By an absolute landslide. Connell looks outstanding. Apparently we're quite close at one point. It was about nearly £2 million, all add-ons included, that Connell will go to Wickham. I couldn't believe that were even being debated now when I look back and think about it. But Connell, we've kept. Obviously, Phillips, there were a big bid coming on second last day, and they put another one in on deadline day, to my knowledge. But Phillips, another outstanding footballer, 2 goals, 2 assists from middle at park, or out on rides more often than not. He's just such a good footballer. He put that thing on Instagram saying, "I'm not fucking leaving." So I think there's just like a feel-good factor as well, which we've not had in a couple of years. Phillips has stayed, and the most important one that is going to have the most media attention around it is Davis Keeler-Dunn, who again we have kept. Luton, Blackburn and Preston all wanted him. I think there were big bids, but Barnsley are not the Barnsley of old, where we just sell for anything. And we are putting stupid bids or stupid fees on as better players. And rightfully so, because in this market today, Davis Keeler-Dunn is a £5 million footballer. Definitely. 100% he is. So, I'm not being funny. He's got, 3 years left on his contract, I think. We're in a good nick to get promoted and then be able to charge double anyway. £5 million, I'll go away. Go and pick somebody up from somewhere else, if you're that arsed. He is an outstanding footballer for this division. He scored 4 goals in 6 games by playing out on left for most of it in an unnatural position. We're in a great spot. We are in a great spot. And one thing I would like to do, quickly, let me get my spreadsheet up, lads. Hold on. Right. So this is the position. Hold on, why am I over there? Oh, wrong thing. Right. So, this is realistically the squad level in terms of players that we've got that can play multiple positions. So, everybody that is sat there saying, "Oh, well, we're so light up front." Look at this graphic right now. I have put like a little asterisk next to players that shows that they're injured. If you look at this graphic and think that up front is the position that we are lacking in for how we play and the players that we've got available, you're an idiot. You actually, and I'll tell you what, if you disagree with me, come meet me at Garrison and I'll smash a glass over your head and I'll teabag you, right? If you truly think that striker is the position that we are lacking in for injuries, and if 15 people get injured in this one position, then this is going to happen. Look at left back. Hello? Are you people seeing the same thing as I am? Gent is injured. Let me just do this, right? Gent's injured. You're telling me if Ogbeta gets injured and we have to play Earl left wing that we're going to be fine? Hello? Right, let's just be realistic here. If Dunn gets injured, let's say there's some world where Dunn gets injured, Didzy goes up front, you bring Cleary on left wing, or Farrugia, or Jallo when he's fit. If Didzy gets injured, you're in the same position, you've got all these wingers that can play either side. If anybody at middle at park gets injured, you're fine. If any centre-backs get injured, you are now fine. If Watson gets injured, I'm scared because it means Dijavinier is playing. If Cooper gets injured, I'm alright with it. He's a very good keeper, but Flav's good. We are fine in all these places here and this one. If Ogbeta gets injured with the current players that we have got, we are finished because we've got to change everything. We've got to change the entire system if Ogbeta gets injured. So people that are sat there saying, well, if Didzy and DKD get injured, then we're finished. If you make both strikers injured at any club in division, they're finished. It's not universal to us. We've got Cleary there if he needs to, who naturally throughout his career has been a striker all the way up through kids. It's not going to be new for him. He can play up front. We've got 3 strikers there that can do a job. We've got multiple wingers on either side as options. And that's before players even come back from injury as well. Mate, if we get an Ogbeta injury, we're going to change the entire system. And we've got to start moving players around. Because Didzy starts out on left now, like Urian said. Because Ogbeta is stood out here in game. So Didzy can pick up any positions in and around here if he wants to. That's because Ogbeta is so fit and so up and down. If Ogbeta gets injured and you are putting Earl there, then you've got to change the full dynamic of the team. So how people can sit there and think that the striking situation is the worst one if we get injuries, I think people just like to moan and probably don't even go to the games. They sit at home with their ugly wives and moan on X.com to children. Get a grip, you weird. Anyway, if you want it in a different format, I'll just scroll along. This is realistically what we're looking like in terms of players that can actually play in different positions. So once again, we're looking at right back and left back being the two that are very scary positions if we do get injured, right? Very, very scary. Yeah, Earl's back at some point this month, I think. But if we get an injury to Watson, it means Dijavinier comes in and that drop-off is crazy. If we now get an injury to Shepherd or Earl, you've got Rooney there, which is fine, almost. Ogbeta, if he gets injured, we've got no Gent right now. So if he gets injured, then we're finished. Loads at middle. We've got 5 different wingers. We've got 3 players that can play up front. The clear problem becomes right and left back, specifically left back right now, because if he gets injured, then we're finished. But we have got many, many options in many positions. We are fine. It would have been a luxury to have another striker of McAtee's standard that wouldn't even start for us. That's what we're moaning about here, or some people are moaning about. We've kept the best 3 players that we've got. We've got some of the best players in division. We're going to score loads of goals. We've got a very good manager. We brought a defender in that we needed desperately. People crying. I think they think we've got some mystical owners. I don't know where they've been for the last like 4 years, while we've been in worst period in decades, to think that we're just going to have perfect window consistently. We've not got a striker that would sit on bench for us. I could not care less, man. Because once you actually get to bench, once everybody's fit, right, this is more than likely going to be the bench, I would say, based on the current starting 11, which means Roberts, Dijavinier, Jorgensen and Farrugia don't even get in the squad. These are sat at home on a match day. So I think we're more than fine. It would be a luxury to have someone like McAtee, but we are not a luxurious club. We are Barnsley, with the worst owners that we've had since 2000 when we went into administration. So let's all calm down. Let's all get a grip. We're fine, all right? Bunch of babies. Seriously. Oh, my God. Anyway, let me read some super chats out because we've got some nice people in this chat. Buddy in a box, thank you for the 5, my buddy. On behalf of my love for Barnsley's diplomat to Brum, George Horsfield, Guan Reds, I don't think we're going up anyway. Buddy, believe. Gaslight yourself. You'll be alright. Okay? You'll be alright. You'll be fine. Believe. You'll be top 6 definitely. Thank you for the 5. I love you very much. Joseph, thank you for the 2 again. If only your owners had some brass to buy fullbacks. True. I mean, it's not like we've made about £40 million since we got relegated and spent, I'm going to say 2. Yeah, I wish we were sat on some brass. Because I just think about the players that we've brought in, and clearly the scouting side of things for us, with a decent manager in charge who actually picks the players in Urian, it's good because you look at players like Kelly and Bland and Jorgensen and Jallo and Cleary. These 5 lads who have all been brought in for kids through Hassel or because of Urian look like world beaters for their age. So if we actually put some money behind us and you could buy a level up for that same age, we'd be flying. We'd be absolutely flying. But anyway, I appreciate the 2 again, my friend. Love you very much. CF, £150,000, mate. Thank you very much. One of the big 3 will be going in Jan. Depends. Championship clubs will panic buy and slap £4 to £5 million down for DKD with all 3 promoted clubs staying up again. That won't be enough. You might think I'm going crazy, but seriously, that would not be enough. If that came in, I don't think it got to that level. I think it were about £3 million that teams were flirting with for done. But if that came in, that £4 million in Jan, I don't think he'd leave. I really don't. Unless he pushed for it, which by all accounts he's got no reason to. He's happy where he is. His wife and kid are up in Middlesbrough. I think if he's going to go anywhere, it's further north or maybe like a Sheffield United or something. To a point where it don't make that much of a difference. But he ain't going down south. He's not going further west. I think if he's happy here, there's no reason for him to sell. And especially if we're in a position where we can get promoted, I think there's an £8 million difference in terms, well, as owner said, there's £8 million difference between League One to Championship in terms of the revenue that you get. £8 million. So unless we get £8 million for Davis Keeler-Dunn, I don't think they'd sell. Maybe that's the stupidest thing ever, and realistically £5 million it would be sold. But if we're in a position where we can get promoted and keep Dunn and Phillips and Connell, because then once you're in Championship and you are a Championship club, your players immediately double in value. So then with what will be 2 years left next season, if we're in Championship, we're done. You're looking at, well, give me £10 million, man, because we've got a Championship baller here. You know what I mean? Alfie, I'm going to get that up. Thank you, CF. I appreciate it very much. Let me get that up. I'm gonna wait for it to come through system. Alfie, you have a history of selling your best players for no reason. Our recent history is selling players for humongous fees. You go and look at the last good player that we had, truly the last good player, apart from Styles, because that were a unique situation. The last good player that we had, that were happy here, and went to a proper club. You look at the last players that we have sold and the fees that they have gone for, and come back to me. Because we do not sell for cheap. And we haven't done since we got relegated, realistically. And Neerav took more of a control on club. Like, he is an absolute cheapskate, 1,000,000%. But in terms of selling players, we are very, very good at it. And the agent of one of the big 3 who I have contact with told me that Barnsley are extremely stubborn to work with. So we ain't selling for niche. Unless you come in with a stupid bid, none of our lads are going. They signed 4-year deals here in League One. Like, some teams in League One make like 1-2 year deals. We're tying lads down to 4 years at good ages with serious potential. And you're being told, listen, you're not going unless £5 million comes in. So, end of. I do not see a reason for us to sell if we are in a position that we think we can go up. Do you know what I mean? Okay, Alan. Right, let me get Alan's message up because I have been done there. Hold on, I'm waiting for the machine to start churning it out. Alan says you've also got a history of thinking you'll get promoted every season. True. True. Shut up, Al. I've actually got nothing to even say to that. Fucking hell. Right, let's just quickly look at this before we say goodbye. This is probably the starting 11 still. I don't think this has changed. I don't think I don't think Rooney coming in will immediately start. This is what we look like in game. There's no point in looking at it as defensive paper shape because it's pointless. This is how we look in game. Phillips comes out to right more often than not, and he's got Vickers in front of him. Dunn, after Urian said that he weren't getting best out of him, Dunn played down middle against Huddersfield and did out on left. So I think that is the case that it will still be. Ogbeta is very high and wide, but there's no 3-3-4 formation. So unfortunately, I can't put that there. But Ogbeta is further up than that normally. And I think it'll be Shepherd at middle, which it looks like most of the time. Shepherd at middle with Earl and Watson either side. And then on defence a lot of the time, we do shift into a back 4. That is a really good team. It's a really good team. As far as the starting 11, that is a really, really good team. The current bench that we've got, we are still missing like the obvious injury to Gent and Jallo, and Roberts as well. But his bench now looks more like something. And I think next week when we go to, it's Reading at home, innit? So we've got Reading at home, then Blackpool away. I can't remember some of the other fixtures. I think we've still got some hard games coming up, you know. Even after an hard start. His next games, Reading at home, Blackpool away, then Port Vale at home, Wickham away, Cardiff, Bradford, Rotherham, Donny, Lincoln. Oh, it's not the worst ever, actually. If we can come out of the Blackpool one, all right. Like, if we beat Reading and Blackpool, we're looking dandy. But I think his bench is looking more somewhat like after deadline day. We're fine in every position apart from left back. I tell you what, I saw someone say it and I forgot your name, sorry. But they said if Watchog better get injured for like 5 months against Reading now, could definitely just see that happen. I could just 100% see that. After all this yap that I've just done, I could 100% see that happening now. And then season's done, we've got to change our system. I just hope that if something is to happen to better, Gent's not far away. So I imagine we'll be okay. Is Jürgen Eyup not good enough? He was starting at start of season. He's not good enough to start right now, but he's also 19, I think. So he's a good option off bench, but we're just that blessed in certain positions. For example, Connell's been outstanding so far. Bland looks like one of the best players that we've got, and he's 19. Like, it's just crazy the level that we've got at Middle Park. He's the strongest position depth-wise, so I think he's finding it hard. And I also think we expected to sort of sell Russell, and nothing came in that we were happy with. So I think if we would have known we were going to keep Russell, I think we'd have loaned Jürgen Eyup out. But he'll still get cups. Do you know what I mean? You've got Papa John's coming up, which is at least 3 games. We could put just like full second team out, and he'll get all them games. I think he played in both cup games, if I remember properly. We've got FA Cup coming up. We're still in cup against Brighton, so he might get a game there. But I think we'll be all right, boys. I'm gonna say, well, you know what I'm gonna say. I think we'll be top goal scorers in division, completely unbiased as well. Like, I'm taking a step back and being real. I'm not saying that we'll win league. I think we'll be top goal scorers in league. I think we're an absolute cert for top 6, like 1,000,000%. If we don't get top 6, I will be gobsmacked. But I think there is only one team in this division that are better than us. And for me, that is Luton. And that is it. We've gone up against Bolton. We drew, but I think if we had full 11, then we'd have won. We bet Huddersfield. I know they had 10 men, but again, we looked in control even before that. I think that after an hard start and a good points tally, and we're 4th in table, I believe, as of right now, come back to me in next international break, next month, when we've played another 5 games or whatever it is, and I think we'll be right up there, me. I think we'll be right up there. But that is it. I think Barnsley will get promoted automatically. I think we'll finish 2nd. But that's that, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I want to say a big thank you to my sponsors, both OK Jersey, where there is a link at the top of the description, and Match Bingo. If you deposit £5, you get £10 for free. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love you all. Thank you for the donations and for spending your Friday evening at 6 o'clock with me. But I appreciate you all. Kiss, love you. Long time, buddies. And I will see you in a bit. My next live will be Monday. But there's a video that's out today, and there's another one that I've scheduled for Sunday. So we're all right. There's content, you know what I'm saying. But boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And go.